Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you're laser focused on hitting true financial freedom and you want a realistic, no nonsense roadmap for the next 5 years, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're completely cutting through all that social media hype, right? The day trading fads, those overnight millionaire promises, we're ignoring all of it to break down 5 distinct actionable assets. We're talking about categories that could fundamentally transform your financial landscape. We're just focusing purely on structured, time-tested strategies that actually work in the real world, things you can literally start applying to your life today. So get comfortable because we've got some serious ground to cover.
Okay, let's dive straight into this. What if the absolute biggest wealth opportunities of the next 5 years aren't even the things everyone is obsessing over today? It's so incredibly easy to get caught up in the latest financial mania. Maybe it's some trending tech stock or that brand new digital currency everyone's hyping up on your feed. But here's the truth. Real, lasting wealth is rarely built on those fleeting trends. It's built on foundational assets. Assets that just consistently generate real value over time, compounding year after year. So in this explainer, we are going to completely shift your perspective on where real value is actually hiding in plain sight, totally away from those flashy headlines. But hey, before we get too deep, let's just lay down a few essential ground rules. First up, there are absolutely no guaranteed profits out there in the real world of investing. None. Zero. This explainer is here strictly for your education and to spark some strategic thinking. It is not personalized financial advice. We're not going to hand you a specific ticker symbol and promise you'll be a millionaire, and we're definitely not pushing specific brokers. Why? Because literally every single investment involves risk. Markets go up, and yeah, markets inevitably go down. Understanding and managing that risk, figuring out how to survive the inevitable dips so you can actually thrive during the booms, that is the true hallmark of a successful long-term investor. All right, let's start building our wealth pyramid right from the absolute ground up. Our first asset category is cash and emergency reserves. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a second, cash isn't an investment. Inflation is just going to eat it away. And sure, I hear you. But an emergency fund, a pool of super accessible savings, is actually your mandatory financial safety net. It's the absolute non-negotiable prerequisite before you take on any market risk. Having 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a liquid account means that when life inevitably throws you a curveball, a huge medical bill, the car breaks down, a sudden job loss, you are fully protected. The really crucial takeaway here is that financial stability absolutely has to come first. You simply cannot safely chase high returns without having this foundation securely in place. Just imagine tying up all your hard-earned money in a stock you really believe in, only to get hit with a sudden emergency. Without liquid cash, what happens? You're forced to sell off that stock, right? And possibly right in the middle of a massive market dip, totally locking in those steep losses just so you can keep the lights on? Your cash reserves are basically a shield. They protect your wealth-building engines from getting completely derailed by the everyday financial turbulence that hits every single one of us. Okay, so with our safety net firmly in place, we step up to our second asset category, broad market investments. Look, when you're dealing with the stock market, you generally have 2 totally different paths you can take. One is the incredibly dangerous game of chasing individual stocks, trying to pick that one magical company that's going to skyrocket. Honestly, that's way closer to gambling than it is to investing. The other path, the one we're focusing on, is broad market investing. This is where you focus on the long-term ownership of a huge array of businesses rather than just betting the entire farm on one single company's success. So, why are diversified stocks so absolutely vital? Well, it all comes down to the massive market exposure they give you. When you buy into broad index funds or ETFs, you essentially become a part owner in hundreds or even thousands of different businesses, all at the exact same time. It's kind of like spreading your bets across the entire economy. This strategy brilliantly harnesses the sheer power of time and diversification to seriously lower your risk. Think about it. If one company in that fund struggles or even goes bankrupt, your entire portfolio doesn't just collapse. Why? Because your wealth is spread out across the broader economic engine of the whole country or even the world. It's not about scoring quick wins or magically timing the market. It's all about steady, reliable, long-term business ownership. Moving right up the pyramid, we hit our third asset category, real estate. Now, real estate is totally legendary for its wealth-creating potential. But let's be super honest for a second. It is deeply, deeply misunderstood by a lot of casual investors. People watch a weekend home renovation show and suddenly think flipping a house for a quick $100,000 is a breeze. We need a reality check here. Real estate isn't just buying a house, kicking back, and watching your bank balance explode. It's a highly active, incredibly complex financial undertaking. You need capital,
you need serious patience, and man, you need a very high tolerance for dealing with real-world headaches.
Let's just weigh those dynamics for a minute. On the reward side, yeah, it's amazing. Real estate can aggressively build wealth through property appreciation over the years. It can generate that sweet passive rental income month after month. Plus, you get to use financial leverage, which basically means you can control a massive, expensive asset while only putting down a relatively small fraction of the cost. But, and this is a big but, those rewards come tethered to some very real risks. Using that leverage means you're taking on a heavy debt burden. You're the one on the hook for maintenance, like when the furnace blows up at 2 a.m. in January. You've got the financial stress of the property sitting vacant, constantly rising property taxes, and the very real possibility that property values can and absolutely do go down. All right, next up, we're entering the realm of true wealth multipliers with our fourth asset, business ownership. We're talking about owning a piece or maybe the whole pie of a profitable business enterprise. And wow, has this landscape exploded and democratized over the last few years? We're talking about everything from your classic brick-and-mortar stores to wildly scalable modern digital businesses. Just to put this into perspective, think about the difference between opening a really great local bakery, which is super localized, versus building a specialized software tool that you can sell globally with basically zero marginal cost. Owning a scalable business like that gives you the power to create immense value directly and basically scale your income exponentially. But again, reality check time. Social media absolutely loves to sell us this laptop on a tropical beach fantasy. The whole idea that you can launch some business on a Monday and be sipping margaritas in Bali by Friday. Yeah, we need to throw some cold water on that. The actual day-to-day grind of scalable business ownership is drastically different. It takes immense time, grueling effort, and just this relentless, nonstop problem solving. Let me tell you, most businesses are absolutely not overnight successes. In fact, a lot of them fail. Building a profitable venture from scratch is a grueling marathon. It requires insane dedication, pivoting constantly, and frankly, success is never, ever guaranteed. Okay, so we've covered cash reserves, stocks, real estate, and businesses. But there is still one foundational asset left. It's a highly unique asset. You're not going to find it sitting in any traditional brokerage account, and it is definitely not locked away in a bank vault somewhere. And yet, this could very well be the absolute most powerful, highest-yielding investment you could possibly make over the next 5 years. Just take a quick second. Think about what that could possibly be. Got a guess? It's asset number 5, you. Specifically, your high-value skills and your technology literacy. Look, I know that sounds like an inspirational poster cliche, but it's not. Mathematically, investing in yourself is the ultimate wealth multiplier. Think about it. Markets fluctuate wildly all the time. Real estate goes through massive boom and bust cycles. Businesses face absolutely fierce, unforgiving competition. But your ability to adapt, to learn, and to provide extraordinary value to the marketplace, that is an asset that belongs 100% to you. Nobody can tax it away, nobody can steal it from you, and it's going to pay you massive dividends for the rest of your life. So, what does investing in yourself actually look like in today's economy? Well, in a world that is automating incredibly fast, mastering things like artificial intelligence or advanced data analysis makes you virtually indispensable. We're talking about really understanding software, getting a grip on cybersecurity, or being able to execute high-level sales and marketing. And why do these specific skills matter so much? Because acquiring them directly and rapidly supercharges your earning power. When you increase your income, you suddenly have this surplus of capital. That means more money to save, a beefier emergency fund, and way more ammo to aggressively invest in all those stocks, real estate, and businesses we just talked about. Your skills are literally the premium fuel that runs your entire wealth-building engine. Okay, so we've isolated these 5 key assets, but here's the secret. True wealth isn't built by just looking at these things in total isolation. They aren't just 5 separate buckets sitting in a room. Building lasting financial freedom means taking all these elements and making them work together in perfect harmony. We really need to synthesize these distinct categories into one single, cohesive, proven wealth-building strategy that you can actually follow step by step. And this brilliantly illustrates how that entire strategy comes together. Let's walk through it. First, you focus on earning more. You do this by relentlessly leveling up those high-value skills we just talked about. Then, you fiercely protect that income by saving consistently, making sure you build up those vital liquid cash reserves. After that, you deploy all that surplus capital into owning productive assets. That's your diversified index funds, your carefully selected real estate, maybe a scalable business. Now, throughout this whole journey, what are you doing? You are relentlessly managing risk. You do that through broad diversification and just never stopping your financial education. And finally, the absolute magic ingredient, time.
You step back, you stay patient, and you just let your investments grow. Mathematically, historically, this is the exact blueprint for how true long-term wealth is constructed.
So there you have it. We have laid out the complete blueprint today, from building that absolutely critical safety net of cash all the way up to harnessing the ultimate wealth multiplying power of your own high-value skills. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with one final vital question to chew on. When you look at your own financial landscape right now, today, which of these 5 assets do you need to build first? I want you to take a hard, honest look at your foundation, pick your starting point, and start taking deliberate action today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep building that future wealth.